about seemingly civilized adults acting like savages opened a year ago. It got great reviews, won 3 Tonys, including Best Play. All of the original cast members were nominated for Tonys, with Marcia Gay Harden winning for Best Actress. A new cast has just come in, the third, and 2 of its members are returning to the play. Janet McTeer from the 2008 London production, and Jeff Daniels from the original Broadway cast. But this time, he's in a different role. They join me now, and I'm very pleased to welcome them back to our show. Hi.
Hi.
Janet, the play was written in French, so the first production was in France?
Actually, I think the first production was in Germany, and then she did it in France.
And then it was translated into English by Christopher Hampton.
Yeah.
Is the script the same here as it was in London, or has the language been Americanized?
No, yes, it has been Americanized, or most of it has. And also, when we were in England, we played it as if we were French. So the park was French, the clafoutis was a clafoutis, my name was Veronique, and we were French people.
But you're playing the same character, Veronica.
No, I'm playing James Gandolfini's part. And Jeff is playing the Marcia Gay Harden part.
She's wonderful.
Well, it's interesting. Ken Stott played Michael here and in London. He played it here with a British accent. You're doing it with an American accent.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Was that a given when you took the role, or did the director Matthew Marcus?
No, not at all. I just figured it would be more of a challenge for myself.
And it's just great. I mean, watching her slave over every single word in rehearsals, she's just nailing it. And to be honest, it takes a lot of guts for an actor to do an American accent in front of an American audience. And she's just, I think she's just nailing it.
Well, there are some actors. In fact, I think of Alfred Molina in an earlier Yes Me to Raise a Play, stunning audiences when they realized that he really was British.
Yeah.
Jeff, you were here last spring when you were playing Alan, the lawyer who can't stop talking on his cell phone, and now you're playing Michael, the role that James Gandolfini was in last year. Why did you want to come back in the play? Had you been envying him that role?
No, I actually went through the whole run that we did and never once thought about playing it. I thought when we left the show that was it. And then the producers came back a few months later and said, look, would you like to flip roles? And the creative challenge of doing that and doing it on Broadway is at least rare. And then Janet was attached, and it's such a wonderful relationship between Michael and Veronica that half of what I do depends on who Veronica is, and knowing Janet's work, it just made it, the decision that much easier. And at the end of the day, Jim was great. Gandolfini was great. He used himself beautifully.
Wonderful body language.
Oh yeah. And that's what I'm doing, is that I'm using myself. And because the fact that Jim and I are different people, it's going to be the same, just slightly different.
Well, Patty Duke told me recently that when she was in The Miracle Worker with Anne Bancroft, she knew all of Bancroft's lines, which made it easier later when she played Annie Sullivan in another production. How aware are you of what other people are saying when you're on stage?
Well, you're listening, but certainly the fact that I did Alan for 7 months was, whenever a cue came for Alan, which is being played now by Dylan Baker, I would twitch. Certainly in the first week of rehearsal, I'd twitch a little bit, but that goes away because you're thinking Michael, you are Michael, and eventually that leaves. Yeah.
Now, Ken Stott, was he in the original production with you, Janet? So are the producers trying to mix this whole thing up? People from different casts moving in and out of the show?
I think probably it's just really simple. The fact is, it's incredibly hard work doing the play because it requires an enormous amount of energy, and
because it's an ensemble work and
it's all 4 on stage at the same time, and it goes from sort of level 2 of tension to about level 100 in the space of about 40 minutes. So it's like running a sort of mid-length race, and by the time you've sort of been on the stage an hour, you look around at everyone else on the stage and we're all of us sort of sweating buckets because we're so hot, and it's just so it's a heavy-duty thing, and it's a bit like, well, certainly playing for us too, it's like playing Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, really. So it's sort of not sort of easy, although you do, of course, you get fed by the laughter in a different kind of way. So I think that the truth is it's just the fun of the play. It's a fun play to do. I had a great time doing it in London, and so when there was a possibility of doing it again here, I just thought that'd be really good fun.
It's interesting that you mentioned Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, because that is a serious play with a lot of laugh lines.
Yeah.
And this play veers between comedy and drama. In London, it won the Olivia for Best New Comedy, but hasn't Yasmina Reza said that she thinks of her plays as tragedies and doesn't like it when audiences laugh? I can't believe she's serious about that.
I think it's that thing of that comedy is a lesser art form. So my guess is that that's partially her reaction. But you know, we're directed to play it straight. We're directed to play the anger, the pain, and that makes it twice as funny. You know, she's also the first one to come back after seeing it and loving the fact that people are laughing so much. But I think it's more of she thinks it's more than just some simple little comedy, which it is.
But there is a lot of physical comedy in this.
There is, yeah.
Well, for you maybe, not for us. We're up there going through it. So.
I mean, it has to be very carefully choreographed, doesn't it?
Yeah. All of those technical things.
I don't want to give away some of the things, although I'm sure by now most of our listeners have read about some of the surprises. But who knows? Somebody might go there and really feel spoiled if I mention.
They still sneak up on you, whether you know them or not.
Yeah.
So, since you, in a sense, this is new for both of you, did you just start from scratch? Rehearsal?
Yeah, I think so. I think the only thing that one did know was, you know, when we first did it in London, you know, Matthew hadn't done the play obviously before, and so the territory of it, the actual how to play it, the space of the acting, the style of the acting, was the style of the comedy, all of those kind of things was sort of uncharted territory. And I think when we rehearsed it over there, that's when we kind of realised how to do it and how to make it funny.
Because that's set pretty much the standard for everything.
And I think that's it was the same in when Jeff did it originally here. And so the greatest thing I think that both Jeff and I had going into this production is that you know the territory. You know the territory, you know how high it has to be, you know how low it has to be, and you know the temperature. And those things took us a long time in London to come to grips with. And once you've done it, you realise. I mean, when we first did it in London, I remember rehearsing it and all of us just sitting there going, I can't believe this is ever going to be even vaguely funny apart from 2 bits, and being so shocked when the audiences laughed. And I remember meeting guys, I was doing Mary Stewart when they were doing it here first time, and meeting them all going, I mean, how do you make it funny? And I'll go, just do it straight. Trust me, just do it straight. It'll be really funny. And so we do have, that's a given for us.
Well, it does feel like a very American play, at least in this production. It's even hard for me to imagine it being French. But Matthew Warchus, he says that he sees this play as being akin to a musical score. So when you're working out those different things, in a sense, you're really a string quartet.
Tony Bennett was one of the people that came about a year ago, came to the show and came into the dressing room, and it was just great to see him. Never had met him, and he sat there and he said, it's one of the best quartets I've ever seen. And that really is what it is. It's just, when it gets moving, and like Janet was saying, the only exploration we really have to do is within ourselves to reach that fevered pitch that we know it has to be. I mean, Matthew has already found that. So once we get that, and you get that driving around the corner on 2 wheels and that 100-mile-an-hour pace that leads to this moment, then we're there. But it is a true four-hander in that everybody scores. There are 4 leading roles, and it's just a wonderful kind of sharing of one play.
My guests are Jeff Daniels and Janet McTeer, 2 of those 4 actors. The other 2, Dylan Baker and now Lucy Liu, who began doing the performances of this 3rd version of the Broadway version of God of Carnage on March 2nd, just a few days ago. It's at the Burn